Yes. Related.
Yeah. From a child point of view, what is the one, because your father has led couple of ministries before. So which policies do you think has got the biggest difference, that made the biggest difference to you as a child?
To me?
Yeah. Is there any policies that...
Well, I think it's not any particular policy that my own father makes that benefits me. I'd rather... I think he made the improvements to the education system. That was when I was young, and it's given students an opportunity to further develop their potential. So my recollection, vague though it may be, was that there were improvements to the education system, which kind of saw Singapore through. Yeah.
Maybe I give to the gentleman behind first, and I come to you.
Wicked from MediaCorp News. This question is for all three candidates. Can you name one policy that you disagree with and why?
Mihai again, ladies first.
This is a difficult question. I think overall, I think there has been some very sound policies, in my view, that's taken this country to where it is today. I mean, clearly, as I said in my speech, it becomes even so clear when you actually step out and operate in another country where you can look back to see what you have. So I think fundamentally the core policies that is in place in the country, it's sound, has tested withstand the test of time, it has transformed lives. But obviously, like all policies, as the country evolve, Singaporeans' aspirations evolves, there's always opportunity to look at how we can reshape it so that it continues to keep in tune. So specific policies, I don't have anything that I could name for you, but I could share with you, rather than big picture policies, having been on the ground, I actually feel quite empowered having watched MP on the job. And actually, a lot of the work that MP does is actually walking from block to block, house to house, and they are empowered to do quite a lot of things that you see the beautiful environment that the resident lives in Singapore. From resident asking for a playground, and that comes up, to a shelter, when they're older parents, road that is unlevel. There are lots of these things that we don't hear about. But when you go on the ground, these are the things that a lot of the energy of connection with the residents that gets fixed, get that worked on week after week during block visits. And so the beautiful environment you see in a lot of our housing estates is actually through a lot of the hard work. Yes, there are policy discussions that MP gets involved with, but I think one of the things that I'm most impressed with, that MP is empowered by working with the residents, they can create a very beautiful environment. Usually, the great ideas come from the resident, whether it's a sheltered, different innovative things they could have in the estate. So thank you.
Steve?
Thanks, DPM. On the macro level, I think I agree with Miha. I think on the macro level, the policies are generally very well put in place. Of course, on a micro level, on a personal front, I think at the MPS that we help out in, personally, for me, I've seen a few cases of related to transport, right? So I think the local, the ministry and others are actually doing a fairly good job. But of course, there will always be room for improvement, so especially in the areas of public transport. But I take heart in that this is an anecdotal example, that every time I go short breaks overseas for holidays, it's very easy to spot a Singaporean, because the moment they touchdown, they'll say, hey, look at this bus or this road or whatever. Back in Singapore, it's not like that. We've got it better. So it's, to me, I take a lot of pride in that every time I hear it.
Desmond?
You've asked what policy we disagree with. On the whole, I agree with the fundamental tenets that the PAP stands for. Otherwise, I won't be here. But there are various policies that you'd like to explore in greater detail. And for me, what stood out was the decision to introduce the casino integrated resorts. When it was first mooted, I was full of emotions and in two minds. On Chinese, 百感交集. You have a lot of emotions about it, and a lot of debates with friends. I've never seen some of my friends so animated about a subject about politics in Singapore. So it was tough, for me to reach a decision as to whether I agree or disagree with it. At first I felt, wow, we're going to introduce a lot of problems into Singapore. Perhaps organized crime, prostitution, drugs, or worse, people getting into deep financial trouble. And of course, when you listen to the debates from various angles, social, religious, philosophical, political, economic, ultimately I reached a kind of a piece where I think, let's give it a shot. Let's see what benefits it brings to Singapore. And indeed, it has brought a buzz in the air. It has brought visitor arrivals. It has brought economic benefit to Singapore. It has brought jobs. But now my sense is we need to keep an eye, and I hope the government will continue to keep an eye on the social implications that the IRs may bring. I'm heartened to hear Minister Vivian in Parliament saying that he's keeping very close watch on this. I've spoken to grassroots leaders, friends, and their view is, and I share that, are the one-of-a-kind mechanisms that we have put in place in the Casino Control Act, the Social Exclusion Order. Is it good enough, or do we need to further strengthen it? And so I think the answer is, let's wait and see and keep an eye out for any hidden corners. Thanks.
Pass the mic back to...
Hi, Li Kiang from Zaobao. This is a question for Ms. Fu. As a follow-up to Reuters' question, so if you're given the chance to take up political appointment now, after election, would you be ready to take it up and give up your successful career? And the second question would be, as a successful, been a successful career woman, how do you think Singapore has fared in terms of work-life balance? What more can be further done?
Good.
Okay, thank you. As to your first question, I'm sorry if I have to repeat myself. Really, I'm new to politics. Coming in, it's been a very deliberate kind of discussion with the family and employer, and it's something that I believe I have the capacity to continue to do my job and to serve the people. They're both very, very important roles that, and I believe that I have capacity to do both. I think what we are most focused now is, to earn the trust, the mandate of the people, to be elected, to represent them, to be their voice, so that we can work and champion their issues. So I think that's the most immediate priority for me. As in women, actually, being a woman, I've always been quite passionate about women's issues. I think Singapore women actually has come a long way. If you look at education, you look at access to opportunity, half the university graduates are women. So I think there are some key indicators on many fronts. And women's rights, some of the recent changes on women's charter, I think we've come a long way. I think we always have the but, right? I think it is reality that because women has become so successful, they've now have more options. And therefore, rather than doing the traditional caregiver role, they a lot of them, half women is participating in the half workforce. So I think to be precise, it's 57% if I'm not wrong, right? So about more than half of a woman is juggling caregiver, mother, and working. And obviously, if you compare that number with the male, it's at 77%. So, I think we can do more as women. It is a tough job to juggle. I have been there myself, taking leave, do the CA1, SA1, CA2, SA2. But I understand, my sons are big now, so maybe not so intense now. But it's not easy. So I think on a few fronts, I think we could continue to support women. Number one, women who has given up the career with their choice to look after the family, how do we help them to rejoin the workforce? Women who is juggling, what kind of work-life practices, flexi work arrangement that we can make available for them so that they can continue to engage the workforce and yet, kind of manage the dual roles they have. So I think that's pretty much what I think. So thank you.